In the realm of life, there is no greater douche than Jeff the Chimera. Caw-caw, caw-caw. And on this occasion, Jeff has certainly lived up to his reputation. Jeff took it upon himself to invade the encampment of Clan Skryre and steal precious warp stone from them in the dead of night. When they woke the next day, they followed the stench of Jeff and the sound of his inane cackling all the way into this ancient, ruined temple area. However, their marching did not go unnoticed, and the Stormcast have picked up the scent of their own, and they have descended upon this land to find out exactly what's going on. So, Jeff, being the mischievous fellow that he has decided to play a little game with these verminous rats and Sigmar's finest golden warriors. He is planning to drop pieces of warpstone down the centre of the battlefield and watch both sides scramble for them for comedy effect. That means at the end of each battle round, whichever of these treasure piles Jeff is closest to will receive a piece of warpstone, and whichever side controls that particular area by having more models within range of it will acquire a victory point for that turn. And Jeff will be moving rapidly between these two portals, and then when he reaches the end, we'll then randomise which side he starts from again. He's using all his douche-like magical energies channeling from the realm of life. So, let's go through the forces, shall we? Let's start with the Stormcast Eternals. We have 3 prosecutors. Swinging down here, we have 5 liberators. In the woods, we have another 5 liberators, and we have the Knight Heraldor standing behind them, ready to shake the terrain to its very core. And over on this flank, we have the serious meat. We have 5 Judicators, the Knight Venator, the Knight Azeros, and a Drakesworn Templar. The Drakesworn Templar is shielded by Faith, so he's going to have a 5+ save versus mortal wounds. He has the Quicksilver Draft, so once per battle he's going to be able to pile in and attack first, even if it's not my turn. His Stardrake is also storm-winged, so enemy units that are underneath him as he's flying over may want to watch out, because he's just going to be dropping steaming hot mortal wounds right onto their heads. It should also be noted that in the Celestial Realms there are 5 Retributors just waiting to be sent down by Sigmar himself to unleash their furious hammer-shaped vengeance into the heads of those verminous scum. So, for the forces of Clan Skryre, what do we have here?
Okay, so we've brought the big boys because we're hoping we don't get a 3rd defeat in a row to Andy's Stormcast. So we've got Thanquol on Bone Ripper. It's a pretty meaty model there, 500 points. Then we've got a Rat Tank, which isn't officially a model, but it was a model back in 2002. It's basically a steam tank with a warp lightning cannon that the Skaven have captured. And next to that we've got an Arch Warlock, and he has got Artifact, which gives him extra wounds, so he's on 6 wounds. We've got 5 Clan Skryre Acolytes, the old Poison Wing Globadiers. We've got a Warp Lightning Cannon, and another 5 Clan Skryre Acolytes. So those 2 are battle line, and then we've got over here, we've got 3 Storm Fiends with the Grinder Fists, a Rattling Gun and Wind Launchers, and they are waiting to tunnel out of the ground somewhere.
Okay, it's time for the roll-off to see who's going to get the choice of going first or second in battle round number 1, and here we go. Well,
it's not epic, is it?
Not very good dice rolling there, but the rats are going to have the choice.
So yeah, we're going to go first, definitely.
Clan Skryre turn 1, and it's full-on advance. Everyone moving towards the precious spots where they feel Jeff might deposit those precious pieces of warpstone. In the hero phase, there was a spell that was failed to cast, but that didn't matter, that didn't bother the verminous forces too much, because they then swiftly dished out with the warp lightning cannons, 1 on the tank and 1 moving up into the field. They dished out mortal wounds to both the Liberator units, so they've both lost 2 models as a result of that. So they are going to need some battle shock. This Liberator unit did pass a couple of saves from other shooting attacks as well, so that was lucky for them. So here we go with the battle shock. Taking 2 casualties, they are bravery 6. And with a 3, that means they're going to be fine. And the other Liberator unit in the woods, let's see if they can survive as well. same situation. Oh no, it's a 6! That means there's a total of 8, so 2 models from that unit are going to run away. And just looking at the battlefield before the game, I thought the Stormcast had the advantage with the numbers. But when the models are dropping like flies, they're just being summoned back up to the heavens before they've even got going. So that's evened the score a bit, I would say. We are part way into the Stormcast turn, and the advance is kind of well and truly on. The Stardrake and the Knight Azeros have made their way closer to the enemy lines. The Knight Heralder moved up into the woods. The remaining Liberators have advanced as well. There's not many left of those. They have run as well, attempting to get closer to the potential drop sites, with varying success. The Prosecutors have not moved particularly. They just realigned themselves a little bit so they could throw their Celestial Hammers at Bone Ripper. And then the Retributors successfully came in this turn, so they're going to be hoping for a successful charge against Bone Ripper shortly. Just going to describe the shooting attacks now. In the hero phase, the inspiring presence of the Drakesworn Templar was placed onto the Judicators. They're not going to require any battle shock tests. And then quite a bit of shooting damage was dished out. The Warp Lightning Cannon took quite a few wounds from various attacks, including the Judicators and the Knight Venator. The Stardrake didn't roll particularly well with its infinite range shooting attack, but it did do a couple of wounds as well. A wound or two has been dropped onto the Rat Tank and onto Bone Ripper as well, but he has the potential to heal wounds as well, so need to really stack up wounds on him. So just a smattering of damage across the table so far, nothing major, and we're going to go into the charge and hopefully in the combat phase now, if anything actually succeeds in making it into combat. So, a very successful charge phase, first of all, for the Stormcast Eternals. There were long charges declared. The Stardrake succeeded with his against, well, there's no evidence of what he actually charged into now because they've all just been horribly killed, eaten alive by the Stardrake, and it didn't even go first in the round, but when it did go, just ate one of them whole and then butchered the rest as well after they'd failed to do anything to him. The Knight Azeros didn't succeed with his charge. He rolled very low, but he wasn't really required over there anyway. And down here, the Retributors also made a long charge, 9 inches away, but they rolled a 10, got into Bone Ripper. They were so invigorated by successfully charging this hideous warlord that immediately they just inflicted 6 mortal wounds on him on the charge, and then a couple more after that as well. So, very good attacking there by the Retributors, but then they did lose 3 in retaliation from the weakened Bone Ripper, so imagine if they'd had to face him at full strength, what that would have been like. Not very friendly, let me tell you. So they are going to need a bravery test now. So here we go, battle shock time. It's a 1, so they are perfectly fine. So we'll clear off the corpses and then we'll see where Jeff is going to drop his Warpstone. So Jeff is going to be flying 6d6 across the table. Let's see where he lands. Well, there's quite a few small numbers in there. So the Jeff has deposited Warpstone right in front of the Rat Tank, and the Stormcast are not close enough to contest that, so the Skaven are going to pick up a victory point for battle round number 1. So, the roll-off to see who's going to get the choice of going first in battle round number 2. Here we go. It's a 3, and it's a 5, so the Rat Men are going to get the choice again.
Gonna go first. Yeah.
I think they're going to have to. So, we're part way into Clan Skryre turn 2, and there's been some casualties dished out already, and we're not even up to the charge phase. So you may notice all the rest of the Retributors are gone. That's because Thanquol and Bone Ripper dispatched them with magic and shooting attacks, so they're all dead. The Rat Tank, look at that. More Liberators absolutely toasted by lightning fire. So there's only one of them remaining who passed 3 armour saves actually to cling on to his last wound. So he's hopefully going to cause a bit of a roadblock to the advancing rat forces. In the middle, there's been a bit of an advance over here towards this central pile of treasure where perhaps there will be Warpstone dropped by Jeff at some point. Down here, the Warp Lightning Cannon put 4 mortal wounds onto the Stardrake, so it's down to 12, which it's not too bothered about. And then the shooting attacks from these freshly landed Storm Fiends put a couple of damage onto the Knight Venator as well. So they're going to be lining up a charge, and I imagine a few other units are pondering it as well. They've got a few options. So we're at the end of the Clan Skryre battle round number 2, and the only unit to succeed with its charge was the rat tank. It ran over the last Liberator, who was clinging to his last wound for dear life, but unfortunately he is now mangled up somewhere in the gears of this hideous rat-based atrocity. There's not going to be any battle shock, so we're going into the Stormcast battle round number 2, and that Stardrake is primed for more action. Partway into the Stormcast Eternals battle round number 2, the Stardrake has turned round to face the imminent threat of these hideous monstrosities, and down here you'll see that the Knight Azeros has made his way towards the Warp Lightning Cannon, which moved away from him last turn, and the Knight Venator has moved up onto this potential drop site for the Warp Stone. You'll also notice that the Knight Heraldor has moved back out of the woods, away from the rat tank, wisely, and then there was a lot of shooting dished out. So as a result of it, the Stardrake, by dropping the stars onto the enemy, it actually affected a couple of units. It put wounds onto the Storm Fiends. They took 3 mortal wounds, I believe, and Bone Ripper also took 2, in addition to taking some wounds from the Celestial Hammers of the Prosecutors over in the corner. So he is down to his last 2 wounds, I think, now, which is not very nice for him, although of course he will be getting one back soon enough. Over here, the Knight Heraldor shook this pillar, and that actually killed off most of this unit here. There's only one guy left, and he survived a barrage of shooting attacks that just continually rolled 1s and couldn't finish him off, so he's still potentially going to get a victory point there if Jeff doesn't move very far. And over here, the Star-Fated Arrow of the Knight Venator, of course, rolled a 1 to hit. So, we're about to move into the charge phase, and the big main event, of course, is right here with the Stardrake. So anything but a double 1 for him will get in, and then the Knight Azeros is going to be looking for a charge as well. Well, the Stardrake was the only unit to make it into combat, and it went first, killed one of them, or finished it off, and put a couple of wounds onto this guy as well. Then, in retaliation, they did well though, they put 6 more wounds on him, so he's only got 6 left, so he's going to be whittled down a power level or so. But they are going to need Battle Shock now. So they've lost 1 model, they have Bravery 6, so on the roll of a 6, another one will go, and they roll a 6! So one of them is going away, running for the hills. So you'd think in those big power suits with all the weapons and technology attached, they'd be a bit braver than that, but no. The sight of a Stardrake is enough to send even the most fearsome rat scurrying back into the sewers. Right, it's time to roll for Jeff's movement, so 6d6, let's see how far he's going to go before he drops his Warp Stone. That's quite a beefy roll, actually.
It's 10, 12, 16, 25 inches.
So Jeff has landed right here, next to the Knight Venator, so the Stormcast are going to pick up a victory point. He was right there, perched, to collect that Warp Stone as it fell from high in the sky from the mischievous Jeff. So it's now 1-1 in victory points. Time for the roll-off to see who's going to get the choice of going first in battle round number 3. Here we go. It's a 5 and a 1. Okay, the Stormcast are definitely going to take the opportunity to get 2 turns in a row now, because that could be quite critical. We've just completed the shooting phase for the Stormcast Eternals in battle round number 3, and Thanquol and Bone Ripper have been felled by hammers to the face from the Prosecutors. So his face was well and truly prosecuted, hammer style, and down he goes. So the Skaven have only got 3 models left alive at the moment, the Clan Skryre. So the rat tank took some wounds as well from the shooting attacks that were directed towards it from over here, from the Judicators. And you may notice that this area is now not inhabited at all, and that is because this pillar was shaken again. A huge piece of falling pillar landed right on his head and smushed him into a billion pieces, so he's just a fine paste in the grass now. So he's gone. Over here, the Knight Azeros has moved to within striking distance of the Warlord, so he's going to attempt to charge in a minute. And over here, the Stardrake used its shooting attack and put a wound onto this guy. So he's very, very likely going to eat that thing and finish it off even in his diminished state in the combat phase. But we have got a charge to attempt as well. And with Jeff lingering there, you never know, because it's still fairly up in the air here, because if Jeff were to end up, say, on this area, then the rats would certainly gain another piece of Warpstone. So it's not all over yet. Well, end of the combat phase. And the Stardrake, of course, finished his meal. He doesn't leave anything on his plate. So he's now just got a bit of an open invitation to invade whichever part of the battlefield he likes. Next time he's able to act. There's not much to move against him here. Of course, there's the rat tank still alive down there. In this combat down here, the Clan Skryre warlord didn't put any damage onto the Knight Zeros and then suffered 2 wounds as a result of Sigmar's finest. So no battle shock at all. So we're going to go straight into the filthy, verminous battle round number 3. And we'll see whether that rat tank can actually save the day. Because I think that would be necessary, actually, for them to get anything out of this game. That's pretty much the only thing they've got left with any kind of hitting power. Well, the rat tank decided it was going to have a go at trying to bring down the Stardrake. And he's down to 2 wounds now. The various weaponry from the rat tank has really diminished that Stardrake. It's bleeding from every orifice. It's not looking healthy at all. Over here, the Knight Zeros somehow managed to survive that turn, despite the fact that he took spells, various shooting attacks to the face. He's got 1 wound left, and because he was alive, he was able to then dish out 2 wounds to the Warlord in the combat phase. So, not much accomplished because the rats only have 2 models left, so we're going to move Jeff now. And if he goes into the portal, that could shake things up a little bit because he'll then pop out from a random portal. So let's see how far he's going to go here. So 6d6. Right, there's some hefty numberage going on there. Into the portal goes Jeff. Where will he pop out? Nobody knows. On a 1 to 3, Jeff will pop out the portal he just came in. On a 4 to 6, he will come out all the way over here, which could be very good for the rats. So here we go. It's a 4, so he's coming out on this side of the table. Unfortunately, he didn't have much movement left, so he's just stuck down there, so no one gets a victory point for battle round number 3, because he dropped his warp stone right there, with no one even remotely near to it. So it's still 1-1, heading into battle round number 4, and we're going to have the roll off to see who's going first there now. So here we go. It's a 2 and a 3.
So yeah, we'll go first.
The Warlock Engineer. I think I've been giving him the wrong name for the entire game, but there you go. He rolled a double 1 when trying to cast a spell onto the Knight Zeros, but you will notice he is dead. That's as a result of the rat tank, which is now no longer here. It moved to this location, round about here. It gunned down the Knight Zeros, and it also gunned down the Stardrake. So the Clan Skryre forces can leave this battlefield, well, what's left of them can leave the battlefield feeling like they've really accomplished something there, should they survive. And then he decided he was going to push his luck 1 step further, charged into the Knight Venator, somehow did 0 damage, and then took a wound in response from the shooting specialist of the Stormcast Eternals. So that's quite embarrassing. So we're going to Stormcast battle round number 4 now. And at this point, running out of units and really need to be claiming some of these areas for Jeff's next drop-off. Stormcast Eternals 4th battle round, and not much was accomplished because the Knight Venator decided to flee from combat just to be near to this potential drop site. The Judicators have also moved up towards this one as well. The Knight Heraldor tried to shake this field and cause untold damage to the rat tank, but he only rolled a 1, which wasn't far enough, so no damage done there. Over here, the Prosecutors ran as well, so they didn't do any shooting, they ran towards this potential drop site. So now it's time to see how far Jeff is going to move at the end of battle round number 4. And of course Jeff lands right here next to the Prosecutors, so the Stormcast are going to be able to collect that juicy piece of warpstone that he's just deposited there, putting the Stormcast 2-1 in the lead with 1 turn remaining. So it's time for the roll-off to who's going to go first in battle round number 5. Here we go. It's a 1 and a 4. Are the Skaven going to go first?
Definitely.
So battle round number 5 for the filthy, hideous, mutated rats. First of all, the Knight Zeros is dead. He took a magic spell to the face that finished him off. Then the rat tank continued its reign of terror. It killed the Knight Venator, who was perched over here, mercilessly, and then, with a combination of shooting and close combat, it killed off 3 Judicators as well. 2 Prosecutors were also taken out by the rat tank, so its shooting attacks are still quite potent even though it's at death's door. So that was unfortunate, so we're going to have to do some battle shock now. So we've got the Prosecutor, Bravery 6, 2 casualties. We do not want a 5 or a 6 to appear on this dice. Okay, so the Prosecutor lives. Then we've got the Judicators. We do not want a 5 or a 6 to appear on this dice either. In fact, we don't want a 4 to appear because they've taken 3 casualties. So here we go. It's a 1, so they're alright too. So moving into Stormcast Battle Round number 5, and then it's going to be the final movement of Jeff. So it's coming right down to the wire here. We'll see if the Stormcast tries for some sneaky positioning. In Stormcast Eternals Battle Round number 5, not much action at all, because the Judicators realised they could be committing suicide, staying in combat with the Rat Tank, so they've just moved over here towards the drop site. So Stormcast will have more models here, so it was very, very close, that particular fight. If they'd lost one more model, then it would have still been equal, and they could have lost another one from Battle Shock, potentially, with a bad roll. So lucky to survive there, but they're going to be claiming that should Jeff land there. Over here, a nice run roll for the Prosecutor brings him to within 3 inches of this one to prevent the Warlock from claiming it. And then the Knight Heraldor attempted to shake this pillar, but only rolled 1 again, so it was just a very light earthquake that didn't affect anybody. So now it's time for the Jeff roll to see where he ends up for the final time. So Jeff drops the Warp Stone directly between these 2 units here, but of course the Stormcast have more models, so the Stormcast control it, so it's going to be 3-1 in Warp Stone chunks to the Stormcast Eternals. Jeff got plenty of entertainment from that mischievous display, and what an absolute bloodbath that battle turned out to be. It looked like the Stormcast were cruising towards a victory, and then with the loss of the Stardrake and various other characters, and having to reposition for scenario purposes, that allowed the Clan Skryre forces to actually rally a bit, and that Rat Tank was undoubtedly their rat of the match. As far as the Stormcast went, then I think the Stardrake probably did the best job out of everything, or maybe the Retributors that kamikazed into Bone Ripper, and basically took him out of the game early on. So, very, very close, came down to the wire there. It could have actually become a draw at the death, with the Rat Tank nearly pulling it out, but it was not to be, and the filthy, verminous rats are going to scurry back into their tunnels with only a single piece of Warpstone, knowing that the Stormcast now have some of their precious material to take back to the heavens, to study, or maybe to use as a cheap source of lighting. Not that you really need it in the Celestial Realm, so I'm sure those rats, those filthy, really filthy, hideous rodents, are probably going to launch some kind of invasion into the Celestial Realm next, you would imagine, to try and claim back their precious Warpstone. That's if they don't want to just take revenge on Jeff first, because, as you know, he is a douche. We're going to get the official left-handed handshake on camera now. There we go.